What's up, Bug Doug with D&E in the garage. Today, I'm feeling lucky. You wanna know why? Because I was cleaning out the garage this morning, and I found this dope hat. I don't know whose it is, but now my ears are crazy toasty on this chilly New Jersey morning. Now, newfound headwear aside, I do have another reason to be talking to y'all today. Let me tell you a little story. I was in the Wally World the other day. Had to get oil for my Jeep. Had to get oil for my wife's Jeep. Had to get the additives for my Jeep that I was talking about in our last video about the need of zinc in oil for older vehicles. So I've got all the oil for my wife's new Jeep. She needs full synthetic, expensive stuff. I got the Rotella that I'm putting in my Jeep now. I got the engine treatment in the cart there, and I'm starting to rack up the numbers in my head and realize I'm about to spend $120 on oil and oil-related products. So I finally get to the Seafoam, $7-8 for a can, and I say this little beauty, right? The Walmart brand SuperTech engine treatment at $4. Somehow in my head I decided that saving $3 on an unknown, untested product on what was going to be a $120 basket anyway was a good idea. Here was my thinking, right? I bought plenty of Walmart brand stuff before, and I assumed, look, same exact can, same exact top. I assumed, yeah, that's going to be the exact same stuff as Seafoam, just $3 cheaper, you'll brand it differently. Think about like medicine. You ever had like NyQuil and then had the Walmart brand of NyQuil in your hand, and you look at the ingredients and they're the exact same ingredients, exact same percentage of ingredients, just one's in a fancier bottle. So you get the Equate brand or whatever the Walmart brand there is, and it works just fine. I kind of assumed this would be the same thing. So I get home and I'm thinking about it. I said, well, there's an easy way to check. Let's get on the internet there, pull up some materials safety data sheets, MSDSs. These are available. Choking on my own tongue there. These are available for all dangerous chemicals, right? Yeah, this is definitely a dangerous chemical. Seafoam, dangerous chemical. It says right on the on the thing here. Warning: cancer and reproductive harm. That's concerning. So I'm gonna keep that far away from the pocket area. So I went online, I pulled up the MSDSs. Now they give you the main reason for these are so that if you're transporting a large amount of this and let's say a bunch of it spills, you know how to clean it up. You can't just clean up all chemicals the same way. So most of this information in these like 13-page documents is relating to stuff like that, how they have to be transported. It gives you the flash point, when they burn, how to put out a fire with them. But they also do give you the chemicals that are inside of this formulation. This is the safety data sheet for Seafoam. Section 3 here is composition information on ingredients. It doesn't give you exact percentages, but it'll tell you it's less than 95% hydrocarbon blend. It's less than 25% isopropanol. I do not know what those two things are. You can get more information on a chemical here under the CAS number. For my purposes, all I need to know are what the ingredients are and the approximate percentages. If this is Seafoam, if the SuperTech has the same ingredients, same percentages, it's safe to assume it's the same formulation and will work the same as Seafoam. Here's that same section 3 for the SuperTech. You can see the chemicals are completely different. They don't share, they have no common lines or anything, so I'm left to assume that these two products are, while they attempt to solve the same problem, they are basically completely different. Alright, here's the kicker. This SuperTech motor treatment has the same directions basically as Seafoam would, so it's really leading you to believe that same bottle, same exact top, everything sitting right next to the Seafoam, same instructions, really leading you to believe that this is the same stuff. But you know, you can tell from the MSDS that completely different formulations. What I did find out after the fact, I did my research once I'd already bought it. I should have done it the other way around. It was an impulse thing. I found out this stuff, SuperTech, is not the manufacturer. That's just the branding name that Walmart uses. This is produced by a company called Warren Distributors. They produce a bunch of products for different companies like Polar, Antifreeze. I think they do all of the Tractor Supply brand stuff. They also do Gumout. You ever seen Gumout in this jar? in this type of container. I checked the MSDS for the Gumout version of this motor treatment, same formulation. So not Seafoam, it's Gumout, this one right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use it like Seafoam. I'm going to put a little bit in my gas tank and a little bit into my vacuum lines, mostly just because I like seeing the smoke coming out the tailpipe when you do the vacuum method. But most of this is going to go in my engine oil because that's really where I'm trying to clean up. I'm trying to clean up my sticky lifters. So I'll take you through the process real quick of how to use Seafoam, Gumout, SuperTech motor treatment in your vacuum lines. But what we're really trying to see is, will this clean up my sticky lifter sludgy situation there? And for that you'll have to check back. I'll do a video. I'm going to put this in my oil, run it around for a couple hundred miles, give it a chance to work, then I'm going to do a quick oil change. I'm not doing the full 3,000 miles. This stuff does hurt the viscosity of your oil. Do not put this in and then run around for 2, 3, 4,000 miles. Put this in and run around for 1, 2, 300 miles tops. Alright, give it a chance to work, then get it the heck out of your motor. Alright, let's pull the Jeep outside and we'll do a little bit of work on this. Alrighty, put about a third of this stuff in my gas tank. That's where we're going to start. Let me go ahead and put about a third in your engine oil here. Again, right before an oil change. This is not an additive you put in with fresh oil. Okay. Now here's where the conversation gets tricky. You're gonna put this into the top of your motor using a vacuum line to pull it in. All right. Now choosing which vacuum line absolutely matters. I know a lot of people like to use this brake booster vacuum line. You pull it off the booster side. You slowly pour the Seafoam, Gumout, whatever into there, and it pulls it into the motor. The problem is, the argument is that this line hits the back of the manifold, so only the back 3 cylinders get affected. I used to do it that way. I have no proof that that's what happens, but it kind of makes sense. It's going in right here and then it's getting pulled right to the back of the motor. So I don't mess around with that anymore. I pull the airbox hose right off the throttle body and I dump it right down her throat, and in that way I like to believe that it's getting dissipated to all the cylinders. Dang it, I was taking my airbox apart. I just broke this straight off my PCV valve. You got to be careful when you're working around this crap. Now I have something else to fix today. Dang it. Well, you want to pull your whole airbox off like that if you're working on a Jeep. This works for anything, especially if you have a V motor. A lot of vacuum lines only go to one head and then there's no possible way for it to get to the other side. So you might want to consider just putting it right down the throttle body. Next thing you're going to do is start up the Jeep. Alright, I'm going to tell you all about it now because you're not going to be able to hear me while I'm doing it. And I'm just going to goose the throttle a bit right here while I'm pouring it down. As this stuff enters the engine, it's going to want to die. So you're really going to have to do it little by little. The benefit of adding it up here also is it cleans off this throttle body a bit, gets the whole manifold, whole intake there, everything, and then into all the cylinders. So let's fire up the Jeep. You can see I'm just going to add it little by little. Then we're going to shut the motor down, let it sit in here for a good, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Then you're going to start it up and you just drive it like hell, and you'll see most of the smoke coming out the back is really just the product. People like to think that's all the carbon in the engine. That's not true, but you are getting some carbon blowing out the back. So let's get her started up and get to it. Alright, and now y'all can already see got a pretty good amount of smoke blowing out the back. Neighbors love this trick, right? We're gonna let this thing sit for a good few minutes, then we'll go drive around the block and we'll be done with this process for now. Alright friends, this thing's been sitting for about 8 minutes now. Before you ask, yes, I absolutely did fix my PCV valve vent right here. Nothing but the finest Kentucky chrome I had in my garage there. At a later date, when I'm a little warmer, I will find a more permanent solution, but that's gonna work for this old Jeep right now. What we're gonna do is go ahead in the Jeep, I'm gonna click it on, rev the heck out of this thing. I'm gonna take her down the road and make sure all that smoke comes out. Once it's not smoking anymore, you know the product is no longer in here and it has cleaned off whatever carbon it's going to clean off. Alrighty friends, I whipped the Jeep around a couple roads real quick, made sure I blew all that stuff out the tailpipe, run it around until it's not smoking anymore. Before y'all say anything about it, the potential for hydrolocking a motor by pouring liquid down the throttle body, of course you're correct, but the amount of liquid we're pouring down at the slow speed we're pouring down, there's literally no chance that you're going to hydrolock using a third of a can of Seafoam, Gumout, SuperTech, whatever. Even if you poured the entire third of a can in all at once, you're not going to hydrolock the motor. This stuff vaporizes immediately in that vacuum environment, and the amount of actual liquid that would make it into each cylinder is not going to have any negative effect. I wouldn't pour a whole can in there though. A whole can just might do it for you. Probably not though. You have to really bury a motor to hydrolock it. Anyway, the first part is done. The vacuum line part, that's immediate. In my opinion, the vacuum line part of the Seafoam process, I think it's mostly just show. The idea is you're blowing carbon off your valves and your cylinders and your intake, carbon out of your intake. I don't know, maybe. I think most of it is just people like seeing the smoke billow out of their tailpipe, which is really just the product being burnt. But who knows? The real effective part are, I have about a quarter of a tank and I put it in my gas. That'll clean up injectors, all that. But you don't want to leave it too long because it can have a negative effect on plastic components in there. A lot of your seals, connectors in a fuel system are synthetic, so don't just let it hang out. I'm going to drive it around, put some more gas in it. Then I also have it in the oil. That's where I'm hoping to really see positive effects. I'm thinking it's Saturday now. Probably by Wednesday I'll be ready to do that oil change, and I'll do a separate video on that. And hopefully after that oil change with the Rotella in there, I see a quieter engine. That's what I'm aiming for. If you haven't checked out the video before this one about the need for zinc in your oil if you have an older engine, check that out. It's going to make a lot more sense. Also, I'll link up in the corner once I have the next video in this little series. So let me comment down in the squawk boxes. Let me know what you think about this process. Let me know if you have used this product or any other one, and if you've had positive, negative effects. If you know anything more about the chemicals in either of these two products, by all means, I'd like to know what the difference is, because they're claiming to do the exact same thing, though completely different chemicals. And I would be interested to know if one's better than the other. Essentially, this SuperTech is Gumout. So what we're really comparing here is Gumout to Seafoam. I'm sure everyone has an opinion on it. By all means, let me know. I love hearing y'all opinions. Alright, as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.